Tonight, we invite you into a world hidden behind silk and smiles, a world where dreams are meticulously crafted and sometimes grotesquely shattered. We speak of weddings, yes, but not the fairy tales you see in magazines. Tonight, we lift the veil on the true monsters of matrimony, the bridezillas. For years, wedding vendors, the unsung heroes of your perfect day, have held their tongues, bound by contracts, by professionalism, by the fragile hope of positive reviews. But tonight, that silence breaks. Anonymously, in the dead of night, they are here to confess, to reveal the chilling truths of the clients who pushed them to the brink. What lurks beneath the pristine white gown? What horrors unfold in the elegant banquet halls? Stay with us, because once you hear these stories, you'll never look at a wedding the same way again. We've all heard whispers of the Bridezilla, but the reality, according to those who live through it, is often far more sinister than fiction. Imagine spending months, sometimes years, planning the most important day of someone's life, only to find yourself entangled in a web of unreasonable demands, emotional blackmail, and outright psychological warfare. These confessions are raw, unfiltered, and deeply disturbing. Our sources, who shall remain nameless, hail from every corner of the wedding industry. Photographers who captured the horror, caterers who served up despair, florists who withered under pressure, and planners who walked a tightrope over an abyss. They've entrusted us with their darkest memories, the ones that still haunt their dreams. Why anonymity? Because the stories you are about to hear are so extreme, so beyond the pale, that revealing identities could jeopardize careers, livelihoods, even reputations. This isn't just about bad manners. This is about the profound, unsettling impact of unchecked ego and privilege. Our first confession comes from a seasoned wedding planner, a woman who prided herself on her composure. She had seen it all, or so she thought. She speaks of the Scarlet Bride. She wanted a bloody red theme, not just accents, but an immersion. Blood red tablecloths, flowers, even demanded the wedding cake fondant be a rich, almost black red. Said it symbolized the depth of her love and the pain of her past. I should have seen the warning signs. The planner recalls the bride demanding that all red wine at the reception be served in clear glasses, specifically to show the true color of the liquid. Then came the accident. On the day during the first dance, she tripped. Deliberately, I believe now. She knocked over a full pitcher of red punch, drenching her pristine white dress. And then she screamed, not in pain, but in triumph. "It's perfect," she shrieked, covered in crimson. "Now I am truly the Bloody Mary bride." The planner described a macabre scene, the bride reveling in the stained dress, forcing the photographer to capture every angle, dismissing the horrified gasps of her guests. It was a calculated, chilling performance. What possesses someone to orchestrate such a grotesque display? The planner still shudders years later when she sees anything red. Next, we hear from a highly sought-after wedding photographer. His tale involves a bride obsessed with capturing the perfect eternal moment, an obsession that morphed into a terrifying quest for control. She had an incredibly specific shot list, pages of it. Not just poses, but angles, lighting, even the exact emotional expression she wanted. If a tear wasn't falling just so, we had to reshoot. If the groom's smile wasn't radiant enough, we started over. The photographer recounts being forced to stay for hours after the ceremony, reshooting the same bridal party photos because the bride decided the sun wasn't setting artistically enough. But it got worse. During the reception, a child, her own nephew, accidentally ran into her, spilling a tiny amount of cake frosting on her dress. It was minuscule, but she flew into a rage, demanded I Photoshop the child out of every single photo from that moment forward. Not just crop him, but entirely erase his presence. He ruined my eternal moment, she hissed. The photographer refused, citing ethical boundaries. The bride then held his final payment hostage, threatening to ruin his reputation. He eventually relented, airbrushing the innocent child from the narrative of his own aunt's wedding. A chilling erasure. The chilling part? He heard later she did this with anyone who blemished her perfect day. A chilling rewriting of history, one photo at a time. Our next anonymous source is a caterer, renowned for exquisite culinary experiences. He tells a story of a bride so consumed by opulence, she lost all touch with reality and nearly cost him his business. She wanted edible gold leaf on everything, not just a garnish. We're talking gold leaf sprinkled on the mashed potatoes, gold leaf dusted on the roasted vegetables, gold leaf on the bread rolls. It was less a wedding, more a Midas touch experiment. The caterer explained the immense cost and logistical nightmare, but the true horror came during the final tasting. She tasted the chicken, which was already adorned with gold leaf, and declared it insufficiently shiny. She then pulled out a small, almost microscopic vial of what she claimed was pure 24-karat gold dust she'd bought online. She demanded we use her gold dust for the entire wedding, stating our supplier's gold was dull. She threatened to call off the entire catering contract hours before the wedding if we refused. The caterer, faced with financial ruin, was forced to comply, using an unknown, unverified substance on hundreds of meals. The anxiety of potential health hazards was a nightmare. He still has nightmares of the guests glowing faintly under the reception lights, wondering what exactly they consumed. The price of perfection was a terrifying gamble. Our final confession comes from a gentle florist whose artistry was nearly destroyed by a bride obsessed with a mythical, elusive vision. She dubbed her the Chameleon Bride. She wanted a bouquet that changed color with her mood. I explained the biological impossibilities. She insisted. Then her demands shifted. She wanted flowers that whispered secrets and a veil that vanished and reappeared. The florist worked tirelessly to create a breathtaking display of color-shifting hydrangeas and iridescent orchids, pushing the boundaries of floral design. But the bride was never satisfied. On the morning of the wedding, I arrived with the final floral arrangements. The bride was in her suite. She looked at her custom-designed bouquet, specifically made to her absurd, mood-changing specifications, and with a vacant stare, she simply said, "It's not what I imagined." The veil, where is the veil? I told her the veil was with her gown. She said, "No, the veil that vanishes." And then she smiled, a cold, unsettling smile. The florist later discovered the bride had deliberately hidden her own custom, expensive veil, claiming it had vanished due to a flaw in the universe, and blamed the florist for not providing a magically disappearing one. The resulting meltdown forced the florist to scramble, creating a new, simpler veil, just minutes before the ceremony, all while being accused of sabotage. The florist never quite recovered from the psychological toll, forever looking over her shoulder, wondering if the chameleon bride would ever truly disappear. These are but a few glimpses into the shadowy world of Bridezilla Nightmares, tales of manipulation, narcissism, and a chilling disregard for the human being striving to make a dream a reality. Each confession leaves a lingering question. What truly drives these individuals? Is it the immense pressure of the perfect day? Or is it a deeper, more inherent darkness that only emerges when presented with absolute power over others? The wedding industry, often seen through rose-tinted glasses, harbors its own macabre secrets. And the vendors, the silent witnesses, carry these burdens long after the last dance, long after the confetti settles. They are the true survivors of these Bridezilla nightmares. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey. Remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't under the bed. They're walking down the aisle